Today we are continuing our coverage of LaTrice's story, her journey to recovery.
And LaTrice joins us in the studio with more on her story and how her physical therapist played a major role in making her feel more like herself. LaTrice.
Well, Greg and Calvin, after suffering any major health setback or crisis, the road to recovery can be difficult and challenging. And after leaving ICU, I still had my work cut out for me. And that's where rehab comes in. It was this crucial step that helped me get back to work and get my life back. I had finally reached my goal and made it out of the trauma ICU.
When I looked at her medical chart, I said, wow, how does this happen to somebody who's so young, who's healthy? Before you had come into the hospital, some people had told me about you that you were active, you're busy, you're hardworking.
But it did happen to me. I suffered a blood clot, and I wasn't quite ready to go home.
Nobody planned to be here, and virtually no one.
I certainly didn't, but I found myself at Siskin Rehabilitation Hospital.
I always like to say, the acute care hospital is there to save your life, but our job is to help get your life back.
And that was exactly what I planned to do.
So you already had that sense of recovery behind you already, that you had already come so far and now you were here, and so there was already a certain amount of success driving you forward. But we still had a long way to go, and you knew that as well.
I did know that, and that road to recovery included pushing myself every day.
Typically physical therapy in the morning and in the afternoon, and so they kind of double dip a little bit.
It's a lot, but you have to stay motivated and focused on your goals, no matter how tough the task.
And each day when we walked in the room, even if you were tired, you had a smile on your face, and sometimes it was kind of like okay, let's do it.
Fielder says that's key to trying to make sure patients stay motivated and focused on their goals, no matter how bad things look.
There's a younger gentleman who was working, was pretty active, and had a stroke, and you could just see in his face and talking with him that I'm not supposed to be here.
Asking the question, why?
How am I here? How am I going to do this? And that's a difficult place to be.
Yes, rehab can be a difficult place to be. A good staff and support system play key roles in a patient's success. I know. It certainly made a difference for me.
As we encourage families to stay, they're welcome to stay the night, to be involved in therapy. We do family training with every family, with our therapists, because we know that right now they're our concern, but 2-3 weeks down the road, they're now the family's concern.
Recovery is a process that takes time. You have to celebrate the victories, both big and small.
It was every day seeing little gains. A lot of times it's harder to measure, but with you it was very nice because every day we could say, we walked further today, we did more of this today.
And a little bit more each day continue to add up to a lot.
You believe that I am getting better and I will continue to get better.
It really is, Greg. The mental part is just as important as the physical part. They say that's the difference in a lot of people's recovery, is that you really do have to stay positive. You have to stay focused on your goals. And each and every day I would tell myself, I'm going home.
How do you do that? Help us all out with that positive outlook. Was it a conscious decision, or is it just who you are?
Well, I think that some of it is like who you are, but I think it has to be a conscious decision because, it's no joke to say that there are some days that were really difficult and were like not good days, but those days I would still have to say that's okay. And my thing is, I remember I had like this calendar and I had all these like little motivational things in my room, and of course the picture flower girl, as I told you yesterday,
flower girl or dog,
and my family. And so it would say, you're going home soon, and I would just write that every day. I'm going home soon.
It's like an affirmation every day.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get better. And so you have to tell yourself that. And I remember them telling me, and sometimes when people come to therapy and they're facing, what they think are unsurmountable obstacles, they just want to sit there in bed all day.
Yeah.
They don't want to do anything. And then that's where, you have to have that mental fortitude as well too. So that's so important.
And don't diminish the physical, though. I'm a relatively healthy person. It's
Yeah.
all I can do to get to the gym a
And-
few times a week. You're going twice a day in your condition.
Right, and I think that that's really important. And we're going to talk about that later this week too, because that's one of the things that the doctors have said, that in addition to the miracle, it's the fact that you were in such good shape. And more than one of the doctors said that they were like, that was one of the things when they first noticed, because after undergoing all my body had undergone, they were like, you were still able to, you know, obey commands and do things like that, that we didn't think you were able to do. So it's so important, because you have to give yourself a fighting chance. And so that's why it's so important to stay healthy and stay in good shape. And one of the other things is all of our wonderful viewers, Greg, we're going to talk about them and share some of